Hey, real quick before we get this video started, I am hosting an EX04 box tournament next Tuesday. So it's going to be Tuesday, June 27th on my Eggman Discord account. So make sure to check out this event. It's going to be linked in the description. I hope to see you guys there. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and we have the release of EX04 this weekend, and to celebrate that, I did want to drop some deck lists that I've been working on this newest set. And I will say, going into this video, these are kind of experimental deck lists. Normally the EX sets are really neat. They have a lot of cool cards, but they're usually not super meta defining, or they usually don't change the format a little bit. If I was to say one deck that's probably the best, it's probably this blue flare one that we see right now, that whereas also I made a whole video on that going over blue flare and the gray Knightsmon and DarkKnight stuff. So if you want to know more about that deck list, check out the channel. There is one here, but I still think this one's pretty good. I think blue flare is probably like the biggest winner from the EX4 set, and it's probably going to be the best deck that we can, support wise we get from this. I think there are a couple other decks we want to go over, but I do think it's very, very strong. Just the fact that, again, it does have a couple, just more pieces with the same name is all it needed, and it finally got that, which is really important. So that's kind of like my best deck from this format, and I again made a whole video of it. But we have a couple other decks we want to talk about too. There's also a DarkKnightmon and Gray's Knightmon, which are I like DarkKnightmon a lot, and also Gray's Knightmon is neat. It's a neat deck. It's a little bricky, but it does some neat things every once in a while. So I highly recommend just testing it if you have the pieces lying around. But those are kind of like the free decks for that. And then we've got three other decks that I kind of want to talk about that I've been working on and I think are neat and maybe not good, but something that it's been fun just being able to tinker and work with these decks and go from there. So if you're wanting super meta relevant decks, play Beelzy X because that one still is meta here. But if you want to try some creative stuff and do something else, here are a couple decks that I've been personally working on. So first is the Alter S build, and it's kind of a newer archetype. It's very interesting in a lot of ways. It's kind of like you have to build 2 stacks to get to like the DNA devolution of the Alter S, which is asking for a little bit, right? It's a little bit difficult to get 2 stacks for this, but I don't think it's impossible. It's also like really creative in the fact that you use both these builds to like you have like a black base, and so you have like these black Agumons and Goblimons that go up your line, and essentially like whenever you go into one, it helps you go up the other chain at the same time, which is neat, kind of symbolized by this Matt and Ty tamer. So card effect your turn when you play a Goblimon or Agumon, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory, and then once per turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves and you have 1 or fewer Digimon in play, you may play a Goblimon if that Digimon has Greymon in its name, or Agumon if that Digimon has Garurumon in its name, without paying its cost. So essentially, like if you digivolve, you can go you play the other one from the trash or hand, and then when you do that, you get not only is it free, but you get a memory back because you can suspend this tamer and other copies of it to kind of do that. So that's kind of how you can help go into those chains. And then additionally, they have these when digivolving effects. You may digivolve one of your other Digimon to a level 6 or lower Digimon card with Garurumon on its name. For its cost, reduce it by 2, so you can kind of go up from there and help your chains out. So it's a little bit peculiar there. They're pretty much the same thing on both sides, but there's just different name to help work the archetype. And so then these have inheritables of reboots. These have inheritables of blocker, which is nice. And these have inheritables when one of your other Digimon digivolves gain 1 memory, which means if you have it underneath there and you have like the effect to digivolve up, it's reduced by 2, and then you get a memory back. So it's essentially a free digivolve as well, which is helpful to get there. But again, you do have to find your pieces, and you do have to find them to get there. So, and then obviously, like the top end is we have the Blitzgreymon and the Garurumon, which also can help you get up into the other level 6, and then you can DNA into the Alter S, which is a pretty good boss monster. It says card effect when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8k DP or less, then return one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. And then all turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area for a reason other than one of your effects, so essentially by your opponent's effects, play 1 Blitzgray and 1 Garou from this Digimon devolution sources without paying their cost, then place this Digimon on the bottom of your security stack face down. So pretty nice there. There's also an Alter B. I don't like it as much. I think the Omnimon Mercy is a little bit more flexible for what you can do with it. Just have a When Digivolving that is reduced to When Digivolve by 3 if you have Omni in its name. For each card in this with Mega in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon just straight up, and then place 10 cards in your opponent's trash at the bottom of their deck in any order, and then also start a turn, trash the top card of this Digimon. If you do, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So kind of, I think, more flexible. I think he helps out with the Beelzy X matchup a little bit. and I think that's cool. So other kind of tech cards, Agumon, which is just naturally black, which is nice. You might want to use Koromon as the egg if you use him, because it is a Digimon cost for 1, but I don't think there's any black Koromon, so we have to use Sunamon, unfortunately. I think it's still worth it, but it's something to mention there. It's also just good to play from hand, and you're not like alienating the rest of your archetype. We also have Greymon as well, so it's only digivolving for 2 on top of Agumon, which is just 2 of them, but being able to use this, if you don't have a tamer with tie and play, you get to play this guy for free, so that's kind of nice for there. So obviously digivolve for 3, but then you get to play tamer for free. Nokia, which lets you play your cards and helps you get like the reduction later on, which is nice, the black memory boost, and then also the I don't think this is the... We'll see what's called in North America. I actually don't know if this is true or not, but it's an option cards for 3. Activate one of the effects below. If you have a Kreskurumon play, one of your Agu or Greys can evolve into Blitz Grey with ignoring its devolution requirement and without paying the cost. So you just go into it for free, and then other ways the other way around. So being able to just go, ascend into your level 6 to do your plays, I think is great. You do obviously have to have the tamer out and everything, but I don't think that's too bad, and has the security effect of you may play 1 Gabu or Agu from your hand or trash without paying its cost. Then you get to add this card to your hand, which means you pretty much get like the free level 6 DNA play for it. So I don't know. It's interesting. You don't have like a lot of interaction with your opponent's side of the board, which can be a little bit rough at times. But if you're able to get into your Ultra S, consistently and to get there, I think this deck can do well. So that's kind of my list for you guys there. Let me know what you guys think about this one. It's a neat deck that when I first saw it, I thought was unplayable, and now I think it's like a little playable. But we'll see if it's actually going to do anything after it comes out. So anyways, this is the build here, and then next up we have armor control. If you guys know me, I love the armor archetype, and we've gotten kind of a couple pieces the last couple sets that we want to kind of talk over, but the main pieces that we got from this set are the gold Vidramon, which is really nice, being able to digivolve for 2 on top of a Vmon, which again we have enough Vmons to do well, but armor purge, but also when this Digimon digivolving to one of your opponents gets minus 2k for the turn, and then if you have a blue or yellow tamer in play, or if you have a card with armor form in your trash, one of your opponent's Digimon has 6k DP or less can attack or block until the end of your opponent's turn. So it could be 8k or less, as well as if you use the effect on there. So you can get a pop and a stun on something, and being able to pop a rookie when digivolving for only 2, I think is very strong. And then we also do have like the Vmon from BT12, which is technically like support for the Imperial line, but yeah, on play real top 3 cards, add 1 Digimon with Imperial are free and straight, and 1 tamer card with Davis and its name from them to your hand. So this is like the best card for like this deck specifically, because all of these cards are free, including the Shakuamon, which is super nice for us, but then also has the end of turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play by paying its DNA cost. So being able to go into Shakuamon at the end of turn, or even a Chimeramon, can be very nice. You can get some effects where you can even, let's say you give minus 2k to something, gold Vidramon, and then you can go into Chimeramon. It's very easy for you to have immediately 3 colors and maybe 4 colors with green, and say, okay, give something minus 4k and get the bonuses, and it's very nice there. You also have Ankyloamon too. This is not an older card, but we're just kind of jumping into the archetypes itself. So when you play this card from your hand, reduce the play cost by 1 if you have a blue Digimon, and then also you can play this and then DNA with the Vmon. But also when attacking, if you have a blue Digimon and play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k DP for the turn. So being able to stack those together and get some minus DPs is nice. And then also like this, being able to use it to recover, but also be defensive, also has the same inherited, and then you can go up your chain even more. So Magna X, obviously good top end. And we also have Shadow Seraphimon, which is a really interesting card. So when you digivolve into it, doesn't actually do anything, but it does have a opponent's turn when a card is removed from your security stack to digivolve 1, and also on deletion you get to recover 1. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k DP for each card in your security stack. So let's say you only have 2, you go up to 3, and then you give something minus 12k, which is usually good enough to pop anything on board, which is nice. So I think this is an interesting card. And then we also run some Death X mons, which you can digivolve on top of there if you need to, but I think Death X is strong. And then also the Heaven's Judgment, which is also a new card, but works weirdly well for this archetype, even though I don't think it's supposed to be in it. So when you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements, which you can use with the Ken, but we also play a good amount of yellow stuff anyways. But main activate the effect below for each color your Digimon you have activate 1, or sorry, you activate the effect below. So for free, it's a minus 7k or minus 6k. And then for each color on the board, you get to do another minus 6k. So for example, if we just have Magna X, if this is the only thing we have on the board, we do one minus 6k, and then we do another, and then another. So we do minus 6k 3 times, so you can get minus 12k on something and minus 6k on another thing, or 3 minus 6s. And we just have a lot of colors in this deck. So for example, if we have Chimeramon, which also already gives minus 1k. So let's say this is a 3-color one, it's blue, white, and yellow. You give minus, 1k to 3 things. So being able to use that, and then for each color, so that's 3, so minus 3k across the board. And then you can use this, which will then give minus 6k 4 times. So this can just be a complete board wipe a lot of the time, which is nice. So I like that. I think it's strong, and it can be a really good board turner, and it's just a good option card in general. So the securities just give something minus 12k, which is fine. I think that's probably better than just saying activate main. So there we go. Megadeth, obviously also a very good card, which is not too terribly hard to get. I would say maybe have 1 or 2 less copies of this if you want to, since we're not running as much green as we normally do. But Chimeramon can turn green with Lydramon, and again, the Heaven's Judgment I think is very strong. So anyways, this is the list here. I've been tinkering with this a lot. It might not be perfect, but I do want to say there's cards to consider with this deck, and I think Gold Vidramon and the Vmon from PT12 both are just 2 strong cards that definitely kind of put a lot of life, and as well as the Heaven Judgment, since we're playing a deck that just has a bunch of colors. So there we go there. And then lastly, last deck, everyone's favorite, security control. Oh my goodness, this is the most untested deck here. This could just be super bad. I've seen some options and some decks kind of run the mother package, and I'm like, sure, why not? So why not just make this pile of cards and see what happens. So obviously, Mother D Reaper, very strong in the fact that it is a 15k. You get to do some cheese with Alliance, which when this Digimon attacks by suspending one of your other Digimon, you add the suspended Digimon's DP, and this gains security attack +1. So this is a 19k 2 checks with this guy, and it's a 4-drop that you can just play, which is kind of nice, which you can Digivolve into Shakuamon. And maybe every blue moon you can DNA Digivolve with a Cordramon that you played on and got hit off your security, and go into Shakuamon and then get the recovery and get the removal of something. Very nice there. We also have Magna Aandroidd, obviously, since we want to cycle it with the Flame Hell Scythe and just kind of everything else. And then also Shadow Seraphimon again, which you don't really mind just putting it, playing it for 12, and it just hits the board. And then if they try to remove it early, then you're at 6 security, and so you get to just pop something on the board at the same time. So it's good there. You can obviously Digivolve into it. And then when a lot of our security is just Holy Flame, Tactical Retreat, etc., they'll do damage. They de-Digivolve, and then for example, you could hit them with Flame Hell Scythe or Chaos Segregation or something like that. It's very strong, and you can remove de-Digivolve is the best form of removal, and stuff like Machine Dramon, which maybe wouldn't care about some of this. I mean, obviously cares about Chaos Segregation sometimes and DP reduction sometimes. That de-Digivolve kind of solves a lot of problems too. And then you can go into Zort Defeat from there. You can also just twiddle stuff back into your security with Tactical Retreat, including the Gatekeeper, which will get the recovery 1. You'll never get the security attack -1 in this effect, but being able to have a 10k body that you can attack with, Tactical Retreat, put it back on your security, and then if they attack into it, you get to play the 10k again, and then you get to recover a second time. That's just bad. That's just not fun to play against. So the only thing with this deck is that you don't obviously have a yellow Digitama, which means that you won't have cards to help you meet your yellow requirements for free. So we do run quite a few tamers. Murray, which is maybe expensive, but does let you play yellow and purple cards by itself and gains the memory every turn. So I think it's fine for what it is. 2 Mimis, 2 of the Kakaris that when you lose security get a memory back, and 4 of the yellow card, which is the best one in ours. We do get memory back. We do get to if we have more copies of this, if we recover on our turn only, we do get to get the memory back too, which is nice. And I think it just helps you get from there. And honestly, most of the tamer, the easy tamer destruction or tamer destruction are 3 cost or less. So being able to have this 5 cost and 4 cost tamer is usually pretty helpful. So I don't know if this deck is jank. I don't know if this deck is just it loses, but loses still in 50 minutes. So your opponent, no one had a good time or not. But it exists, so here it is. I hope you guys enjoy playing that one. But these are my deck lists today. Again, I'd say these are more unconventional than usual, but I've been having a lot of fun just kind of tinkering with these and making some weird decks that are probably bad, but I did want to show you guys. So anyways, that's going to be my video today. Good luck with all your polls with the EX4 weekend. Let me know what you guys think about these decks and other decks you might want to look at in the EX4 meta, and make sure to check out my tournament that I should have probably said in the beginning of this video, but I didn't, so here it is now. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.